Shinnecock Nation is out here in Southampton on the eastern end of Long Island. I live here on Shinnecock. Shinnecock Nitop means that's where I live. It's always been known as an art colony, and back in the late 50s, my mother went before the tribal nation and requested a land allotment because the land is not owned by each person per se, it's owned by everyone. And so my dad actually was the one who built Ma's house.
Ma's house exists primarily to serve artists of color in terms of professional development. It also serves as a space for developing ideas, creating new work, feedback, different connections to Shinnecock. It's people, land, and culture. My grandmother, Loretta Silva, also known as Ma, towards the end of her life, my mother, Denise, asked, "What should we do with the house?" And she said, if nothing else, it should become a museum space for family history and also for Shinnecock history. And so we're trying to accomplish that and many other things today. During the pandemic, we actually had an opportunity to, over more than a year's time, do this major renovation to save the home, basically preventing it from falling in on itself. So we started a GoFundMe campaign, and that raised enough to get it to a livable state. And so after about a year's time, we actually started our residency program. And so one of the reasons why it is a communal space is because of that generosity of over 400 people that contributed. We're a very small community. We have a small landmass today, but we have such a huge story to tell. And so I really love working collaboratively and in community. Ma's house is, to my understanding, the second ever residency space on an Indian reservation. But so far we've had over 25 artists come through because of it being year-round. And I think one of the things that we're excited about is expanding capability.
A lot of the people who come to our workshops, it's open to the public, so our neighboring people from other tribes, and then having other people who are non-Indigenous people come and learn about our culture at the same time just makes it so much more enriching.
So one of the things that artists are able to help us with is just the fact that they're amplifying our continued existence, and we're also helping them with resources to create their own work and find that interconnectivity.
Ma's house is really passionate about connecting with other Indigenous communities, and so having cross-nation exchange, you can see in a lot of the botanicals that she's referencing, she's pulling from her personal Mohawk knowledge, but there's overlap with other nations and how these plants have meaning and significance. And so Shinnecock folks come to the show and they see these and they recognize them, and it's a really important connection and fostering, that knowledge keeping, but also celebrating it in a new way.
At this time, we are very fortunate to receive support from the Creatives Rebuild New York opportunity through the Mellon Foundation. And so at the moment, we have 4 staff members full-time here at Ma's house. Because of the funding opportunity, everything is free to attend. We offer stipends for guests, presenters. We offer stipends for our residency program to offset travel, and also a small honorarium for our exhibit space.
But that's a 2-year grant. So then, what goes on after that? How will we continue our workshops? How will we keep bringing in more resident artists, without that. So always looking for funding. There's so many people who have, money that they can give to places that are important, and Ma's House is one of those important places.
We also want to make more room for opportunities, just to increase capacity, have larger exhibits, have more than one artist at a time, make the space more accessible in many different ways.
It's just important to uncover all these layers of people of color, or Shinnecock people, or Black people who, have not been acknowledged, had pretty much been erased from history. It's so important to bring back that, yes, we all had a place in American history. We always think about the next 7 generations so that they'll know where they come from, so that when they go out into society, or when they go to school in Southampton, that they can go in strong and say, well, I know who I am, and I know where my people are from.
We're always wondering, what's the next step? What's the next project? What should we tell in our stories? But our story here at Shinnecock has been so undertold that it's just a huge project, and I'm really grateful to have the opportunity to try to tell it myself.